Cupra is really starting to find its feet in the market, and now moving on from its first ground-up model, the Formentor, it is doing what it knows best, creating go-faster versions of existing Seat cars. And that brings us to this, the latest Cupra Leon estate. It's got all the hallmarks of a traditional Cupra product. It's got a bigger engine, it's got revised suspension, it's got some slightly different changes to the way it looks. But the question is, should you opt for it over a conventional premium alternative? Well, that's what we're here to find out. The Cupra Leon's interior uses the same basic architecture that we find on the latest Golf and the Skoda Octavia, and as a result it's got some real bonuses and it's got some real drawbacks too. On the plus side, it's nice and clean, with this switchgear area being particularly smart because it doesn't overclutter the cabin space. However, there are a lot of negatives here. The main screen houses all of your key information, and of course that's good for media and for your phone, but because it houses the heating and ventilation, it means that you have to go through different menus in order to do simple actions such as turn down the fans. They have given you some shortcut buttons down the bottom here, but they're a little bit difficult to operate and they're not illuminated at night, so you can't see them. Plus, because the screen takes a little bit of time to boot up, on cold mornings you're really waiting for it to get going before you can demist the screen or clear the rear screen. However, you do get nice clear digital dials and you get plenty of copper coloured accents that we've come to expect from Cupra cars. There's actually quite a lot of space to play with in the back of the Leon. These seats are nice and wide and quite deep too, so you can sit in, hunkered in, and you've got loads of headroom and plenty of legroom too. The only thing we would say is that these bucket seats are quite wide, and so they do block your view forwards if you are sitting in the back. However, you've got some other cool aspects with USB-C chargers down here and individual heating controls to adjust the temperature back here. Overall, it's a really comfortable space and one that you're going to be quite happy to spend many hours in. In terms of practicality, the Cupra Leon estate really delivers. You've got 620 litres of boot space on offer, and you can extend that of course by folding the rear seats down. The opening is quite square and large, so you're not going to have too much difficulty in loading larger items into there. Particularly for those people who want a good blend of practicality and performance, the Cupra Leon really does very well. As with every Cupra model, you're expecting, well, quite a lot of performance from the Leon estate, and in that sense it delivers. It's got a 2-litre turbocharged petrol engine with 306 brake horsepower and 400 Nm of torque, and that's driven to all four wheels in this case via a 7-speed automatic gearbox. Needless to say, it's pretty punchy. It'll do 0 to 60 in just around 4.5 seconds, and it'll crack on to 155 miles an hour flat out. There are lesser powered versions of the Cupra Leon, and there's a plug-in hybrid too if you are wanting some zero emissions running. But this one that we're in today is the most potent version, and it's properly quick. The added benefit of all-wheel drive means that you've got some security, and when the roads are a little bit greasy, then you know that you can get pretty much all of that power down without fear of spinning the wheels. The steering is quite light, but you can adjust that through the different driver modes, and you can put more weight into it should you want to. In this particular car, we've also got dynamic chassis control, and that's a huge benefit because it allows you to tailor the ride. It makes it softer for when you're on, well, difficult stretches of road. It also means that despite riding on relatively large alloy wheels, this car is comfortable and pliant enough to use all the time. In terms of fuel economy, the Cupra does quite well actually. It's 34.4 mpg combined, so that's the claim figure. Realistically, during daily driving you're going to see about 32, and on longer runs I think it wouldn't be hard to achieve that claimed figure. You're getting quite a lot of performance here, remember, so it would be quite the struggle for this car to achieve any higher. The 7-speed automatic gearbox that you get actually shifts really nicely, and though you can take control of it via the steering wheel mounted paddles, they're just too short. I don't know why Cupra, in all its infinite wisdom, put these on there and didn't seem to try them out, because you try and put your hands around the wheel and you have to reach too far to shift comfortably. It's such a core part of the experience on a sporty model that I can't understand why you wouldn't try it out before. It obviously doesn't work. It's quite frustrating actually. Like I said, fortunately the automatic gearbox is just fine when it's left to do its own devices. And as you can hear, you've got quite a, well, over-the-top engine note. It seems to have piped in a V80 sounding thrum, and well, I'm not the biggest fan of it. You can pretty much switch it off, which is what I would do most of the time because it's a little bit too much. Particularly if you're just cruising and you can hear it going on and off in the background all the time. Overall though, the Cupra delivers the kind of performance-orientated driving experience that we'd want from a fast estate car. It's reliable, it's relatively efficient, and because of that all-wheel drive traction, it's got some great all-weather ability. In fact, you could put some smaller wheels on this and some winter tyres, and I think it would be fantastic when the temperatures get really chilly. It certainly doesn't offer the last word in engagement, but then that's something we've kind of come to expect from this package. It's the same one that you get in the Golf R, and though it's really fast A to B and point to point, which is great for an everyday car, it doesn't offer the same kind of feedback or experience you get from cars like an i30N or a Golf GTI, but it's not in that same league. The Leon Estate is an example of what Cupra does best. It's fast, fun and practical too. The cabin is a nice place to be, and if you can look past some slightly questionable infotainment niggles, it's well made in general. Overall, if you do want an alternative to usual premium rivals, the Cupra Leon Estate is one exciting way to make it. Thank you for watching this Motors.co.uk new car review on the Cupra Leon Estate. Now, what do you think of this particular Cupra model? Please let us know in the comments below, and leave us a like if you've enjoyed this video too. And while you're here, please subscribe to the Motors.co.uk YouTube channel, hitting that bell icon so you're notified every time we upload a new video.